All right. I'm going to continue sharing then, unless you tell me to stop. Okay. You can minimize it if you don't want to see it. So in question number 1, how are we going to start that? If I'm looking for B, C, D. B, C, D. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let me know when you have questions. Do you need the radius? So these are all in degrees. So if you do the subtraction, this angle and this arc have the same degree. This angle and this arc have the same degree. So if you can find this angle, you know the degrees of the arc. So with central angles, the angle is the arc. Is it the circle? No, not the quest, the team review. Today is the 20th, not the 21st. Good morning, Zoena. So you're in Unit 9 circles. In the team review, it should be 26 questions. This is question number 1. Question 2 is the easiest, trickiest question you'll ever see. So I'm glad you asked. If the circumference of circle O is 244 pi, what is the length of the diameter? Which of these equations relates circumference and diameter? The first one. And where do I substitute the 244 pi? So if I do 244 pi equals pi d, what's d? How do I get d by itself? What happens when I divide by pi on both sides? What's d equal? If I have 244 pi equals pi d, and I divide out both pi's, what's left over? 244 equals d. The easiest, trickiest question you will ever see. Everybody wants to overthink this. So we're on today's folder. The internet has been weird, so if you have trouble accessing the internet, let me know. It's just going to take patience to try to get in. Okay. Which of the following is closest to the area of the circle below? Note 11.4 is the length of the diameter. So if I know the diameter was the radius. Desmos is our friend. What did you do wrong? What did you use for R? What did you use for R? And it didn't come out? I did. This is following closest to the area of the circle below. You got 61? You got 51. 5.7. It wants the whole circle. Let's go see what the real answer is supposed to be. I thought I found all of the mistakes in this, but maybe I did not. Choose the 51. It's not really the correct answer. We're just going to make that the correct answer. Yeah, that's circumference. Oh, I bet the problem is that the answer choices are backwards from what they're supposed to be. So choose 51 here for question 3. And that's half of the area. And then question number 4, I bet, is correct the way it is. So let me go look. Yeah, question number 4 is coded correctly. 4 is asking for the circumference. So what's the circumference? That's 2 times pi times 5.7. Are you on number 5? So if the circumference of a circle, find the circumference of the circle with an area of this. So what is the area formula? So you set that equal and you solve. How would I solve that? Because I need to find R. Divide by pi. That's going to get rid of my pi's. So now R squared equals what? And then what? So then we square root it. What's the square root of 90.3? What is that? 15? It's not 15. 9 point. Okay. Now if R is 9.5, circumference is 2 pi R. So if you're given the area, you need to find the radius. And then once you find the radius, you need to plug it back in to find circumference. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a system-wide thing. I expect it's going to be bad tomorrow too. They've already told us it's going to be shut down almost all weekend, or glitchy almost all weekend, which is going to make it fun since I'm asking you guys to do 2 tests. We'll see how that works out. You can't? So try to write these down on a piece of paper so at least you're grabbing them, right? And I will put this video, like I'm recording it, and I'll put the video on. But try to do them on paper so you're at least capturing the information. That's why we're doing it this way. And if we're going too fast, let me know and I'll go back. I can, yeah. So talk me through number 6. What am I looking for? Okay. And what's opposite QT? What angle is opposite QT? And if I go from the small angle to the large arc, what do I have to do? Mm-hmm. And then if I'm doing STR, that angle, what's opposite angle STR? And if I go from the small angle to the big arc, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Is that really what they said? Dwayne isn't not letting you in either. Do you have some paper? Do you need some paper?
So is it in 7 the radius? 47?
The angle of BC is 47. So if you want to go all the way to BD, what do you have to do? That's what I would do. Is the angle and the arc. Mm-hmm. With question 8. Okay. Solve for x. So if I know that RS is this 3x plus 10, do you see a diameter? So what's this whole half of the circle have to add up to? So what do you do with the 65 and the 3x plus 10? Mm-hmm. So because RS is a diameter, those two pi pieces have to add up to 180.
So there's 26 questions. I can't do it.
We've done 8 of them in 10 minutes.
Only been 10 minutes?
We've done 8 of them in 10 minutes.
It's been like an hour. I know. It's been 10 minutes.
Let me hit save here. So if I have angle BCD, this angle here, and the measure of BAD arc, BAD, this purple angle is this. How is the inscribed angle related to the arc? If the angle is small and the arc is big, you multiply the small thing by 2. So 2 times the small angle equals the large arc. Two times the small angle equals the large arc.
I got 2.
It asks for the whole angle. So once you find x, you got to substitute it back in.
The x is like 21. And then the whole angle is 20.
So once you do number 9, what we're talking about is once you find x, you got to substitute it back in because I want that whole arc. It should be a pretty big number, 200 and something probably. There we go. Okay, these will go a lot faster if we continue to talk about them, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're at home and you have questions, chat them out, okay? Some of these you should recognize. You've seen many of them in homeworks. And then you got to plug it back in, yeah. What is the area? What's the area formula? 2 pi r or pi r squared?
I'm surprised. My grandma asks every time she's like, "Are you?" No, I'm okay. I promise, grandma.
And I want the yellow sector. So what angle do I use? Mm-hmm. I want area.
So pi r squared.
Mm-hmm. And what's R?
Well, we would take pi out and so it might give a man carry.
Thanks for sharing. So I'm hearing great conversations going on in the classroom. Hopefully you're thinking to yourself if you're on Zoom, same thing. If I've got pi in all my answer choices, I don't need to put it into my calculator. I can just bring it down and put all the numbers in the calculator.
What is, so it's 130 over 360. You're 11?
No, 11 is 78.
I think it should be a little smaller. What'd you get, Sean?
I got 28.
I don't know what you did.
I think you didn't multiply by the 130 over 360. So pi, if you find the area of the whole circle, I think it's 78. It's 120 degrees.
It says it right there. Wait, that doesn't make no sense. Aim so you don't have to tag it like two.
So your formula is the angle divided by 360 times the circumference, right? So if the circumference is 216 pi, can I just put that straight in?
120. And then two, you said 260.
And we've got pi in all our answer choices.
We don't have to put it in the group crowd.
Oh no, I haven't picked up my calculator yet. I trust you. It's about a third of 216, so 72 makes sense. 108 doesn't make any sense. That's half. 144 is bigger than that, and 60 is like a quarter. So yeah. What's 120 divided by 360 times 216? Mm-hmm.
What question is this? It's 72.
I'm glad we have consensus. What do I do with chords? So this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 5, and this must be what we're looking for. What is the measure of RB?
Okay, this problem is easy.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 times 5.
So you've got a green chord cut into 2 pieces and a blue chord cut into 2 pieces. You multiply the 2 green pieces and you multiply the 2 blue pieces and you set them equal. Mm-hmm. So A times B equals C times D.
So it's over. Wait, that's wrong. Because I can't really seem to do like a decimal value in my head. I have this part here a lot. I would be close to this one. Again? That's the easy question to I had someone on TikTok yesterday, so I just said it. No, that's some kid that's like 13 and he's doing like, his IQ's over 100 and like, he's solving for time travel. I was like, what you get into? I realized some of the business. How is that? Well, you know, our ad time is on like 210. Honestly, okay, so internet's still jacked.
It is still jacked.
So don't submit your things back and it will erase it. What? Don't submit it, is what I'm saying. It will not save it. On the next track. I mean, you can't do much. I'm pretty sure it will erase it though.
We're not going to lose all our stuff, I promise.
This is graded, right?
We're going to be okay. Promise. Trust me. We're far enough in. You guys know you can trust me, right?
Wait, what are you here for? 86.
So what do I do for number 14? Mm-hmm.
5x.
Wait, how do you do the math?
If x equals 4, what's the length of KZ?
So you add 4 all that.
So that whole length from K to Z is this little piece that's 2. So from K to Z, you've got a little piece that's 2, and then you've got 3 times x minus 2. So 3 times 4 minus 2. We're going to add all that up. So x does equal 4, but what's the length of KZ? Hopefully we're starting to get a little more confident with these. Some of them are tricky. You got to read carefully.
I think this one, yeah. I'm trying.
How are we doing at home? Miriam, Selena, and Gianluca? Thomas, Kara, Samuel, how are you guys doing? Okay. Okay. Let me know if you have questions. Is it helping to like share my screen and put the formulas on the board? Okay, so this is going to be the angle divided by 360. And then I'm looking for the length, so that's definitely 2 pi r. Because that's circumference. So my angle is 166. And then up here it says the radius is 10.
did that opposite again.
Oh, 26 plastic. Holy.
We only have 10 more.
Holy bugger.
We only have 10 more.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a child biologist.
What do we do with 16 if we have those pieces on the outside?
Now, come back into the problem. 5 plus 4. I can tell. 6.
Oh, yeah, I did that wrong.
Oh.
Okay, so,
So remember, it's the outside times the total. So 5 is on the outside, and then the total is 5 plus 12. You got to use that outside piece twice. And then 6 is on the outside, and then the total is 6 plus x. Oops, that's next.
I guess I got it.
I'm getting there.
I'm the value of X.
Have you gotten to number 17?
Yeah.
17 is the same way. It's the outside times the total, and the outside times the total. It just so happens that here the outside and the total are the same thing with the blue. So the outside times the total
Wait, hold on. I did it wrong.
equals the outside. That's a 6, right?
I mean, here's what I'm gonna do. I got a 90. So what I do wrong?
Everything. How'd you say that?
You didn't do the outside times the total. So on the blue piece, the outside is x and the total is x. So that's x squared equals 90 instead of x equals 90. And then what do I have to do to the 90? Take the square root.
If you want the exact answer, 9.4868.
Is that a 6 right there, or is that a different number? What? 9 plus 6 is 15, right? And then 15 times 6 is 90. And then you take the square root.
It's okay. Take the loss. All right?
Desmos said 11.6.
What'd you put into Desmos?
9 parentheses, 9 plus 6 parentheses equals x parentheses.
You use the 9 twice instead of the 6 twice. Outside times the total equals outside times the total. Use the outside number twice. It's so much to remember. That's why we're reviewing it this way. Absolutely. These are like, I'm so happy when I get these questions. If it looks symmetrical in a circle, it probably is. Those two things should look symmetrical to you. You just set those bad boys equal to each other.
What?
4?
Hold on.
Did you add 7 or subtract 7?
It's, yes. I mean, 4. Oh, this one looks like it's very confusing. I'm gonna do this one out to you, Morgan.
No. Ew, no. That was 18 score, right? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It looks like the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter a little bit.
What's the perimeter?
AE equals 4. So what else equals 4?
AE,
I think it's the square root of 90.
DB.
If AE equals 4, what else equals 4?
DB.
Why DB?
The other side. That's wrong. I remember
So what do we do here? These two touch and at an angle out here at an exterior angle, and they're congruent. So if I come down here, what other segment touches at A? AD. So that one is 4. And then EC is 5. So EC is 5. So the other segment that touches C is this one. So this one's 5. And then BF is 6. So if BF is 6, what other segment is 6? BD. So then it says, what's the perimeter all the way around the triangle from A to B to C? What's this whole side? That's 10. This is 11. And this is 9. Yep. Use what you're given and label a picture. Okay. On the SOL, you're not going to be able to type on this, just like you can't type on your computer, but you can draw it on a piece of paper. Label everything. Remember that on tangents, they meet at right angles and they're congruent. Everybody good with 19? The diameter of P shown is 3.5, so that equals D. I'm probably going to have to find R. If points A, B, C, D are equally spaced, I like that, okay? And the approximate length from A to B, yeah, I would just find the whole circumference and divide by 5.
So the whole circumference is
So circumference is pi d, right? So pi times 3.5 and then divide it by 5. You could do it that way too. Mm-hmm.
So then that's divided by 10.9.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go look. If they look congruent, they probably are congruent in circles. So anytime you have a tangent that meets at a right angle, it touches the circle at one point. These little, like, it looks like an ice cream cone to me. The sides of the ice cream cone are congruent. So we just set those equal to each other. 9x minus 7 equals 29. Number 20, 20. So with number 20, because it says the points are exactly spaced out, all of these angles are exactly the same size. You can find the circumference using pi d. And then because you only want this one part, you can divide it by 5. So find the whole circumference and then divide by 5 to get that one piece that you want. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pi r squared is the formula used, right?
Pi r squared. Is it asking for area? So what part of the circle is this piece? How can I figure that out? Are all of those pieces about the same size? Honestly, I count. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 seats in this inner row, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You can kind of visually make those. So, what slice is that? 1 out of how many? 1 out of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if the whole stadium seats 150,000 people, and I'm only allowed to seat in this one area because of crazy COVID restrictions, what do I do with that 150? That's it. Hmm? Mm-hmm. That's the closest one, right? So we decided this gray section was 1/8 of the circle. So if I multiply these two things, 150,000 in the total stadium, what's 1/8 of that? You just divide by 8. So 150,000 divided by 8, and then choose the closest number. Mm-hmm. Are we looking for the part inside the house or the part outside the house? Outside the house. And normally in good construction, can we assume houses have right angles? So what's the degree for my flower garden? 360 minus, which is? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if we are going to use 2 pi r, why? Because I want those bricks that go around. I just want the edging. I don't want the dirt inside. I just want the edging around, right? So what do I do after with my 2 pi r? Okay, we could get the whole circumference. Okay, do I want the whole thing though? Do I need my flower garden to go through my house? So what do I have to take out once I get the whole circumference? What part of the whole circle do I want? Mm-hmm. Let's find the whole circumference first. So what is C? 62.8. So that's 2 times pi times 10. Okay. And then what? Is it 63? Is the answer 63? No, because that's the whole circle. So how do I figure out just this outside piece? What part of the circle do I want? If I cut it into 4 90-degree sections, how many sections do I want? 3/4. Or 270 degrees out of 360. Those are going to be the exact same number. So we can do that arc length, right? 270 divided by 360 times 62.8, because 270 divided by 360 is 3/4. It's the same fraction. It's just bigger. Both of these things should come out exactly the same. Sure. 270 divided by 360 times 62.8. Okay. So what's the closest answer to that? Can I have 0.1 or 0.7 bricks? When I go to Home Depot, can I buy point whatever bricks? I can smash it. I have smashed them in half, but I got to buy whole bricks, right? What about what about our pizza? The slice has an arc of 2.15 inches. What is the approximate measure of the angle? So we're kind of doing this a little backwards. If the diameter is 15, what's the radius? And we do angle over 360 times, we've got an arc length. So is that pi r squared or 2 pi r? 2 pi r equals what? We don't. That's what we're looking for, right? Can we? I don't know. What does it give me with the end? Do we not have enough? The arc length is. So this angle or this answer right here is at 21.5. We've got the solution. That's the arc length, right? How do we solve that? 21.5 over 360. The easier way to do this is to substitute these answers in and see which one matches. So if you put 82 in here, what do you get? So does that work? What if you put in 164? So you just go through your answer choices and see which one matches. This one, the arc length, which is your answer, goes down here. This is kind of a complicated order of operations thing to solve, so it's easier to just substitute your answer choices in. Okay, so all we're going to do is substitute those answers in here and see which one matches. So if we can do the last 3 questions before we leave today. Then we go to 44. We've got 10 minutes. Which measure is closest to the area of the shaded? That should be sector, not whatever I wrote there. So I've got some variables in here. I've got to solve for x first. So what should these 5 angles add up to be, or 4 angles? 1, 2, 3, 4. 360. So the first thing I need to do is solve for x. 3x plus 2x plus 45 plus 90 equals what? 360. Once you solve for x, then it's pretty easy. What's x equal? So once you solve that equation, x equals 45. So what's the degree for this piece right here? 2x and x equals 45. So what's the degree?
90.
So if I know this is 90 degrees and I want to find area, what's my formula? What over what times what? And then R is 8 squared. Mm-hmm.
What is the value of X?
I can't even make this out.
This is not trivial.
What is this?
This one is a little hard to look at. I agree. What are we looking for?
X.
We're looking for X, okay? And we know this is 42. So if I know this is 42, and I'm going out to the arc, what do I do with the 42? Multiply by 2. So this is 84. Do you see a diameter? Where's the diameter? FB is one diameter. AE is another. EA is another. So if you use one of those diameters, how does FE relate to AB?
Great question.
Well, because 84 is across from AB, then
They would be. These are vertical angles, ladies and gentlemen. Another way to look at that, Lily, I'll get your question in a second. Another way to look at it, because a lot of people do not see those vertical angles, is if you know it's a diameter, the diameter has to add up to 180, right? So you can find FA is 96. 84 and 96 make 180, and 96 and 84 make 180. So if you see the diameters instead of those vertical angles, that's another way to do it, okay? When you get crazy looking questions like this, start with the one piece of information that you know and just see where you can go with it, okay? It's a problem solving exercise. Lily, what was your question, my dear? What was 23? Can somebody help Lily?
164.
If you look on the board, Lily, we wrote this equation. The angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r equals 21.5. And then we substituted all of these answer choices in to see which one worked. Yeah. Number 25 is 84. Mm-hmm. All right, very last one. What do you know about 26? How can I find the perimeter? You add up all the sides. So I know 15 and 6 and 20. How do I get the rest of it?
Wait, so we're looking for ABC.
So if BX is 6, then BY is 6. AZ is 15 because AX is 15. ZC is 20 because YC is 20. And then how do we find perimeter? We add them all up. So you got to add those two numbers and those two numbers and those two numbers. Add up all 6 numbers. Okay? Is it 82? Jacob's being brave. Try to submit, see if it works. Elijah is saying, what's number 6? Let's go look at number 6. Make sure everybody's got what they need.
Okay, it didn't. Okay.
It didn't, it went through?
I want to see which one we got wrong. Basically, 10.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at number 6. So number 6, if you know the 65 and you're going out to the arc, you want to double it. If you know the 30 and you're going into the angle, you want to do half. Okay. Yep, I'm going back to 10. Let's go look.
Thanks, Jacob.
The circle game spinner is divided into 3 regions below. RP is the diameter. What is the area of the shaded sector RSO or ROS? ROS is this one. If POS is 45, so it should be 135 divided by 360 times 16. No, that should be the right answer. Let me go see if I can fix it. I fixed so many wrong answers in this. I can't believe there's still more to fix, but
Okay, so it'll be 6, right?
it should be 6. Let me go look and see what the answer key is saying.
Spiritual lesson 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of blind. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, it's.
And we're sure we did that right. 135 divided by. Okay, it should be good now, guys. Try to submit it. Anybody else have any questions that we need to review? Yeah. Number 2. Let's go look at number 2.
She fixed it.
So with number 2, if you know 30 and 35, then the rest of the 360 is what you're looking for. Arc B, C, D. So from B past C all the way to D, you're going to do 360 minus 30 minus 35. Oh, that is number 1. My bad. Number 2, if the circumference is 244 pi and the equation is C equals pi D, then 244 pi equals pi D. You divide by pi and you get 244 equals D.
I'm not waiting for you.
We have boot camp today, and I have a doctor's appointment, so I won't be in office hours. I'll be in office hours on Monday. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to be here. Miss Kimbrough and Miss Kelly will be here. I have a doctor's appointment. I have to go to Portsmouth. Gianluca, number 8, you want to set these equal to 1 to 80. So because RT is a semicircle, you want to add those up and set them equal to 180. And then Elijah, number 16. The outside times the total equals the outside times the total. Okay, bye everybody. Anybody else have a question before I stop sharing? Bye, Samuel, Kara, Dion, Elijah. I hope this was helpful today. Gianluca, number 20. Let's go look. Jada, I saw that you messaged me, and I was looking on my phone. I can't see the images on my phone. So in study block, I'm going to answer you. Okay. Gianluca, number 20. If all of these circle is divided into 5 equal sections, we can find the circumference. So that's pi times 3.5, pi d, and then divide it by 5. So if you find the whole circumference, then you can divide by 5. So this would be the math you do in the calculator. Elijah, did I answer question 16? I can't remember. Okay. Bye, Gianluca. Kara, Dion, you guys have any questions? All right, I'm going to go open my next Zoom call, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.